You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Hello, coming to you from the net carrier M-Cloud. It is Angry Tentai of the Angry Marks Network on our very own Mr. Big Dick, who was here a minute ago. He's not now. And I'm here with our producer, Mr. Killer Kev, the founder, the originator of Raw Reaction. Killer Kev, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing great. Thank you very much, Mr. Tenzai. And I believe joining us on the line now is your partner in crime.
Hello, Big Dick.
How you doing? I'm crafty like that.
You were there the whole time. It's like the search is over. You were with me all along.
Yeah, it's like Destiny, only with the internet.
Is it like one of those footprint paintings?
Pretty much. Kev was walking down the beach with us. And then he was carrying us along in the sand. It was magical.
You know, tonight's going to be magical. You know, there are some naysayers who would say that last week not only was the worst Raw Reaction, and I'm not talking about Raw, I'm talking about Raw Reaction in our tenure, but potentially the worst Raw Reaction of all time, potentially the worst show to ever air on Angry Marks Network. So we take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, we were aiming for a new low last night to match the ratings of the WWE network.
Well,
yeah, by design.
The good news on that is, or the bad news on that is, our ratings did drop below Raw levels.
I'm sure they did.
The good news is it's still better than TNA.
We can't control. We can only control what we control. We can't control the fact that Jordan J. Garber went Ted Cruz and filibustered. And I had to get myself more intoxicated than I already was to get through that 5 to 7 minutes of broadcasting. Just saying.
Yeah, that was that was pretty painful. I mean, that was worse than listening to little Marco Rubio try to self over at a debate.
Speaking of little Marco, you know, I got to tell you, maybe I'm the only one. And I think of Shane McMahon as a little Marco-esque character. I think maybe I'm the only one that I've heard around here, but I'm starting to get really, really pumped up with the possibilities of not only the aftermath of Shane McMahon potentially taking over Raw, but just the match itself. I think Shane McMahon Undertaker is going to be a big event, and I'm very excited about it. How about you?
You know what? I'm pretty stoked about it. Like I've heard even in the last couple of weeks, I hear people talking about how, hey, we're going to get somebody to wrestle for Shane O'Mac. I'm like, wait a second. It's like, Shane O'Mac's a big game player. Like, he doesn't wrestle on SmackDown. He doesn't wrestle on Raw. Like, he'll wrestle on pay-per-views. And he doesn't disappoint. He does the high-flying moves. He does great moves. And he shows to play. If there's anybody who can beat Undertaker at WrestleMania, it's Shane O'Mac. So,
I love what you're saying.
Forward to the match.
Yeah, man. You're right, though. I mean, I think for those people who don't remember Shane O'Mac or don't have enough of a body of work to really judge him on, I think that video package tonight reminded us of the greatness of Shane O'Mac, and that was an awesome video package. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I mean that video package, like you said, I mean it's a video package. It shows what he can do. I mean these weren't opening matches on SmackDown or even opening matches on Raw. I mean, these were pay-per-view matches, big-time quality matches, main event at pay-per-view matches that Shane O'Mac was involved in. So he's a big-time player, and I think that he's going to be ready to go against The Undertaker, and I think that he's going to go toe-to-toe with him. I don't think there's going to be a BS finish or anything like that. I think it's going to be a legitimate, 100% solid 20-minute match.
Yeah, well, I think Vince McMahon did a real good job of building up the match tonight in the first segment where he talked about to Shane, not only will you not win this match, but it means wow. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Raw Reaction Tugboat coming through. Welcome, Raw Reaction Tugboat.
It's the Big Vic Express.
And when you hear the Raw Reaction Tugboat come through, it's that time of the show where Big Vic tells us a story about the current state he's in and what he's doing there. Big Vic, tell us what's going on in the Big Vic Tugboat tonight.
Oh, man. You know what? The Big Vic Tugboat has pulled into Cape Coral, Florida. And the Big Vic Tugboat has been drinking since about 4 p.m. with Mommy and Daddy. Went out to a nice little dinner, had some sunset beers, got back, watched Raw. Managed to stay pretty solid till about 10 and struggling a little bit since then. But pulled it together right about now and enjoying this Raw Reaction right now.
Are you drinking as we speak?
I have a beer about 6 inches from my hand right now. So that's as close to yes as possible.
Can I drop some trivia real quick?
Sure.
We've got the Tugboat in here. And we're talking about the Raw that's leading up to the pay-per-view or special event that's going to be known as Roadblock. Did you know that WWE Superstar Tugboat once appeared in WCW under the name Roadblock?
I actually did know that.
What a coincidence.
Fred
Ottman, this show's for you.
Did you also know that the Shockmaster and the Super Shocker Master are the same player?
Really? Did not know.
And that's Tugboat, Typhoon, Roadblock.
And the Super Shockmaster is what you're going to get right after this, from what I understand.
If you go on YouTube and you put in Super Shockmaster, they ran a gimmick for a short period of time where there was another Shockmaster who had an issue with Shockmaster, but it was the same person.
What was it even more shocking?
It was very shocking, but I kid you not, there is a Super Shockmaster, so everyone should Google that. We will not see, although we saw Shockmaster on WWE TV 2 weeks ago on the Edge Christian show, we will not be seeing the Shockmaster at WrestleMania. But you know what, man? What's that?
I was going to see him induced into the WWE Hall of Fame for the legend that he was.
Oh, I'd love to see it. In fact, I'd love to see Tugboat in his white pants, white shoes, white cap, but red singlet. I'd like to see him strip down and defecate on the Hall of Fame stage, and then they play that song. They show him all strained out and stressed and sweating after he does a dump.
I was going to say he'd get quite to work at taking a dump, I'm sure.
I think everybody would enjoy that, to be honest with you. And then Vince could come out and do Stand Back, right after the dumps there.
Yeah, they could probably spend the rest of the night walking around the dump on the stage.
Dude,
it'd be worse than Owen Hart's attempt to fly in the pay-per-view.
Oh, no. My God, Raw Reaction's on its last legs. We are on our last legs. I am stone cold sober right now, Tommy. Now, guys, I gotta throw this out there. I know we have to cover Raw, but I don't think I've ever been that shelled on the air. I was gone last week. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. You, I felt like you were doing the Sami Zayn stumble where he had a match against Samoa Joe a couple weeks ago, and basically he was getting punched and sort of knocked out on his feet, but he'd sort of be standing up and sort of fall against the ropes and sort of be stumbling around but not quite fall over, and I felt like that was you last week, and I've definitely been in that situation quite a bit, but you were on there for a while, and it was like you were just sort of stumbling around, and then at some point you just ended up just going face down in the mat, and
And that was it.
Which is nap time.
Well, I was glad to be on after all. But like I said, Taker, Vince made the comment, it kills me, or it doesn't pain me, but it's just interesting that my greatest creation, The Undertaker, will have to take on my worst creation, Shane, and he'll have to destroy him. So Vince proceeds to break childhood pictures of Shane in the ring. It was just pretty intense scene, and it's just clear, and physically looking at Shane, he looks ready to go. It's clear that, honestly, this could be the big match of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not the main event, but I think it's one of the two or three there. I do have a feeling, and I felt like this a little more so after tonight, that we're going to see Dean Ambrose involved in the main event.
You really think so?
I do. Just the way Triple H objected to everything. I mean, the match against Roman Reigns, it's gotten enough hype where I think WWE realizes, like, hey, we need a true face, or we need somebody in there to truly hype this match up. And
so where's Brock Lesnar?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing that throws me off, but I just think the build-up, especially the build-up this week, it was just almost like, hey, this match is sort of a footnote to the main event. This match is sort of a footnote taking this weekend against Triple H. There's no way you're on a championship match, and just the way Triple H blew it off, it just made me feel like he's going to somehow get included. So I don't know if all four of them are going to get into it, or all three of them, and then they put Lesnar somewhere else. I'm not exactly sure yet, but I have a feeling that Ambrose is going to get involved in the pay-per-view somehow.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of like on the fence, though. Like, I think a lot of this is created because Roman Reigns has that injury that's keeping him off TV. So I think they're trying to make a bigger deal out of this Dean Ambrose Triple H roadblock match. I think it's all a diversion. I definitely think WWE is going to book as usual. But if WWE learned one thing this weekend from MMA and UFC, why not? Like, why do we have to follow the formula? Like, why do we have to follow the formula? Why not mix the whole thing up because something that happened before it? Like, why do we have to follow the formula? Like, honestly, I've been watching wrestling for 30 years. Why do we have to follow the formula? Right? Like, why not shake the whole thing up? Why can't things change on the fly? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said. I mean, this weekend and just pay-per-view for MMA. I mean, it's been incredible. It was an incredible weekend with matches, and there were two matches that weren't expected. Nothing much was expected out of them, and you have two varying results. I mean, you have a match like, and I think WWE, I think that they're more willing, especially after the last couple of years with Seth Rollins sort of saving a pay-per-view last year, and what's his name, Daniel Bryan winning WrestleMania the year before. I think they're more likely to put it some sort of a three-way versus just doing a one-on-one championship match at the pay-per-view.
Well, I have a question about, and we're going back to MMA for a second. I have a question for Killa Kev about MMA's champion for the females, Cupcake Tate. My question to you, Kev, is why does Cupcake look so unattractive while she's fighting or in the ring, but yet whenever I see her in civilian clothes outside the ring, she looks attractive?
I don't know. I thought she's always looked attractive in the ring. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just you. I don't know.
Maybe it is just me. But the Cupcake is the champion, and I love the fact that that's their champion's nickname. I really do like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting nickname. It almost takes away from the whole seriousness of the division. It's like Butterbean winning the WWE Championship.
She certainly doesn't fight like a Cupcake. She's tough as hell.
Well, yeah, you have to remember that her original nickname was Takedown because she was good at that until she started getting into the championship fights and her takedowns kept getting stuffed, and she kind of thought of it as almost a little bit like a curse, so she just completely flipped everything on its head and just decided she'd start having fun, and hey, now she's a champion.
Yeah, she can call herself whatever she wants now. But Hey, man. Oh, we are! The Big Dick Tugboat's coming back through! Big Dick, does this mean you're going to tell us where you're going to be next week? Will you give us the big date and what you're going to be doing next week? Oh, the Big Dick Tugboat.
I will be freshly minted back home in native Atlanta, Georgia.
God
However,
Big Dick.
following week, I will be bailing on Raw.
You will?
Yes.
What?
I will be in Havana, Cuba.
Man, you're everywhere. The Big Dick Tugboat goes everywhere.
Dude, I try not to discriminate, but unfortunately there's internet is at a premium, being a third world communist nation.
Is that true?
A la Bernie Sanders.
Whoa. Phil Kev ain't gonna like that. That's his boy you're talking about.
A la Bernie Sanders' wet dream.
That's okay. That's why we do edit and post.
Yeah, we should be getting political on here. I'm voting for Shane McMahon. I'm hoping he brings back WCW. Hey guys, I want to point out another thing. So we had Ryback take out the Social Outcast tonight, and we had Kalisto win over Tyler Breeze, and I was actually disappointed because I thought Tyler Breeze would win this match, but neither here nor there. After Kalisto's match, he was backstage talking to JoJo, and for a second I had to remind myself he wasn't Rey Mysterio Jr. He just talks just like him. He looks just like him. But anyway, Kalisto's backstage. He's doing his thing. And then Ryback comes out of nowhere and talks about how he's disappointed that he's not in the main event at WrestleMania. Dude, I don't know what you've been watching the last 2 years, Ryback, but you're nowhere near the main event. So
be happy that you haven't been relegated to first 5 wrestlers out at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Well, I don't think that's over yet, but he could be. But he made a point to say that Kalisto needs to stop thinking about being a tag team wrestler because that'll hold him back, and he respects that he's a Lucha Dragon, but he needs to be a dragon on his own. Just a bunch of crap. So obviously Ryback is making a play for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. I don't really know how I feel about this, but he made a point about how pound for pound Kalisto is the best in the WWE, but he's not going to be able to beat a guy like Ryback. I'm okay with Kalisto winning matches here or there, but I really hope they're not going to have Kalisto beat Ryback at WrestleMania, because that would just be it for Ryback. He can't lose that match. My opinion.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? He's taken a lot of losses, taken a lot of solid losses, but I agree with you 100%. And that's the thing. I'm not thrilled. I like where we're going with the top end of the card here. I don't like the second half of the card at WrestleMania. I mean, right now it's a lot of stuff that's sort of middle of the road. I mean, we have Kevin Owens. I mean, who's he going to fight? Is he going to fight Sami Zayn? Is he going to fight the man that gravity forgot? Is he going to fight Dolph Ziggler? Then we have Ziggler. And that's another thing. Like, there was no point in having Ziggler fight against the League of Nations when he basically lost to the second wrestler. He ended up, I think he pinned Barrett, who's leaving WWE in a couple months, and then got kicked by Rusev and pinned by Sheamus.
Well, let's rephrase. So that match happened because supposedly Ziggler on social media was down talking the Authority, so he got put in this handicap match. Here's a funny thing. I wasn't really paying attention to the rules of the match. Generally in a handicap match, Vic, if you eliminate the first guy, I mean, if you pin the first, like, if it's 1-on-3, if you pin anyone on that team, that match is over. So essentially, although they made it an elimination match, I mean, essentially Dolph Ziggler beat the League of Nations by himself. So I was kind of shocked he got that first fall.
Yeah, you know what? I think they explained the rule before the match, so that to make it was basically a triple threat tag team match or something. And she said, "You're by yourself in a tag team, and the other 3 are together, or tag team elimination." So I think that she clarified it a little bit, and I think they clarified it further during the match or as people were eliminated from it. So I think they made sense there, but I just don't like Neville versus KO Mania. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, we have a couple of weeks. We probably have a month until pay-per-view, but KO Mania. Not sure what you're doing there. Not sure who you're trying to fight there. Looks like Sami Zayn after tonight, but I mean, this was a great match that you had against tonight against Neville.
Yeah, they've fought quite a bit, and I mean they've continuously had good matches. The two of these guys.
Yeah, it was actually Neville had a pretty cool move. He did, I think it was his finishing move, and correct me if I'm wrong, he did his finishing move off the middle rope as opposed to the top rope, which sort of caught me off guard there. I think he did a thing in it.
Well, it takes a little extra to beat our man Neville. You know,
he is the baby that gravity forgot.
Well, he is the baby that Here's the funny part. You know, I didn't expect that Zayn to come right into his Owens feud, but hey, I mean, they're giving the fanboys what they want, and they're going to get Zayn and Owens at WrestleMania. I'm surprised by that, but I mean, although the story is unbelievable and it's well written, you know, in history, they're really not even going to try and build the story up to the WWE audience. I guess one is hoping they've watched NXT, and then one is hoping even more they know about their feud in Ring of Honor. So it looks like they're going to go down this way.
Yeah, you know what? I think that with this feud, I mean, I think that they can just go back even into not necessarily Ring of Honor. I obviously don't think they have the footage, but I mean, they can go back a year to even WWE NXT and put together a pretty solid storyline between these two, and then just talk on their past history with Ring of Honor.
Well, honestly, I'm just praying at some point the Big Dick Tugboat comes back, bro.
You know what? The Big Dick Tugboat, discontinued for the week.
Do you know what makes that noise?
I do. It's my alarm clock on my phone, which I set to ensure that I was not snoozing through the show. So we have no backup plan right now. So if I start snoozing, I'm unconscious.
I think everybody would love to hear another Big Dick Tugboat in a couple of minutes.
Well, you know what, fans, stay with us. And the Big Dick Tugboat may or may not be coming through Cape Coral, Florida right now.
Everybody loves that tugboat.
Dude, tugboat ratings.
I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, a big development and an awesome match tonight. I think the match of the night, complete with shirts and all. Y2AJ, that being Chris Jericho and AJ Styles, got a title match against the New Day. First off, what'd you think of this match? I thought this thing was action-packed, tons of false falls. Loved the match.
Yeah, I thought it was a great match. I was a little surprised. It seemed like the wrong place to have a pay-per-view title match, especially into New Day, where they've been trying to build up the
right.
A couple other tag teams, Kalisto and whoever. They've been trying to build up a couple other tag teams, and these guys Jericho and AJ are pretty new. They only started to team up a week or two ago. They did have a win last week, but to get a title shot right away was a little surprising. So I wasn't surprised with the results going in AJ Styles' favor, and it's let him and AJ restart their feud from a month ago, which I thought was a pretty solid feud. Only now you have AJ as the flat out this feud.
Yeah, I mean, they've wrestled 3 times. I mean, where can they go from here? Why are they doing this again? I mean, I have no problem with it, but I mean, I was just shocked. I mean, especially what a good move by the WWE to have them in the shirts before the match. It made you think, oh, they're a tag team now. You know, I never saw the turn coming, but I don't know. What do you think?
You know what? I think this is going to be just a 40-minute match. This could be Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels ladder match-esque at the pay-per-view. I think that they're going to build it up. I mean, these guys have spectacular chemistry, and you've now created a story where there's a betrayal by Y2J. And like you said, I mean, we've had 3 great matches so far. A lot of great talking, a lot of great mic work, a lot of great anticipation for these matches. I think that they can set up one last match and make it their own. Maybe 2 out of 3 falls match and make it great at the next pay-per-view.
Killer Kev, what do you make of the turn tonight? Well, our producer's not listening.
I like it because I think that one of the important parts of this is that it actually firmly established Jericho as a heel. Whereas in the past, it was sort of AJ Styles is a face and Y2J is another face. And you got the nostalgia pop. This changed that. There's no nostalgia.
But are people clamoring for another match, you think, between the two of them?
I hope so. I think they are. I know they had really good chemistry. Like, I know I read somewhere that Styles was politicking with Vince to let it hit the Styles Clash in them. So I think that there's a really good chemistry between these guys.
Understood. Interesting enough. Tonight also, we see more banter between Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky Lynch. Sasha and Becky Lynch put their differences aside tonight to take down what remains of Team Bad, and the triple threat match is set. I don't know. I just wasn't overly, although I'm excited for the match. I don't think this build is very good. I think it's crappy storytelling.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. Like you said, not great storytelling at this, and when's the storytelling end and it just gets washed away.
Yeah, I thought that on the women's side, the little Lana story with Brie Bella is actually more interesting, for sure. I like Summer Rae getting the win. I like even more Lana coming out in what appeared to be the gear she wore when she was with Dolph Ziggler, which was odd. And
yeah. She's definitely wearing the mid 90s Eastern European stonewashed much attire as a whole. But she was wearing it very Lana-esque, very tight and very revealing, which I was a big fan of.
Yeah, I hope to see that they go with that, like, because the Russians are always like 20 years behind on everything. That they don't know how to dress because they're like not caught up. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see Rusev come out in a pair of Levi jeans for one of his matches, showing them off.
Very much. Well, Brie Bella and Lana could be an interesting story to be told. I don't know too much about where they're going with it, but I look forward to it. That's for sure. Anything else that stood out to you tonight?
Not really. I think that the big match, right, or the big thing they're trying to sell out right now on people watching is the pay-per-view coming up. The Roadblock.
I don't like that name.
No. Like you said, I mean, it's a 90s sort of temporary.
I guess it could be worse, Vic. They could have called it Cockblock.
That might have drawn more protests than Roadblock for WWE.
Oh, I hear it. Yeah.
Cockblock would be very well stroked by the upper level supervisors at pay-per-view.
The Roadblock would be good. I don't know. I mean, it just wasn't. I like the slotting of matches for WrestleMania. I just don't feel like there's an overly great effort to put a good product on TV. I mean, maybe they will at Roadblock. I haven't seen it. You know, I think the card looks good, but it's like you're backing into it, which is fine. But and the Neville Owens match was good, but there's really no build up there. I did really like. I mean, tonight, honestly, if they cut Raw to like 2 hours, probably would have been good. But the AJ Jericho match with New Day was just a really, really, really good match. I really enjoyed that match. But aside from that, nothing really was must-see TV. That match actually was one of the better matches I've seen in a long time. But that's pretty much it. Now, Killer Kev, you still with us? Killer Kev. Dead air is a beautiful thing.
Killer Kev is snoozing right now. We took our turns last week, the week before, most likely. Killer Kev is catching up on his Z's. He's getting his beauty sleep right at this moment.
I could try and run down all the shows that they have every week. So let me do it as if I was Killer Kev. On Monday nights, you have the best show on the network by far, with the two smartest and most entertaining talents, because they generally, something happened to these two guys, whereas they've been together on the air probably a little over 2 years now for Angry Parks. And the first year they were actually pretty good. They stayed awake and they were like really into Raw. And then somewhere along the way, these guys started falling. Maybe they got older, which I want to believe is the driver. And for some reason, they started falling asleep like all the time on the radio. And I don't really know why that happened, because for about 50 weeks straight, they were able to stay awake and they never got tired. But all of a sudden, these guys are like narcoleptics. It definitely can't miss podcasting. So make sure you listen to the Raw Reaction with Big Dick and Angry Tensai. On Tuesday nights, we have the Undisputed Wrestling Show, where generally they'll bring on some sort of third-tier talent that was released by WWE 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 years ago to talk about said era in WWE that most people have forgotten. And from there, you'll listen to that, and I'd say, I don't know, 5 times out of 7, they'll have canceled on us, and we'll have to reschedule someone else. Wednesday night is Nut Up or Shut Up, where our very own Stevie J and Peter H talk about mixed martial arts. On Thursday night is Thursday Night AMP, and if you couldn't get enough of Stevie J, you get to listen to him 2 nights in a row. And then pretty much what he does is he kind of talks about Raw Reaction, essentially, and recaps us. And that's really entertaining. So he plays clips of our show and just talks about like kind of what we did, which is really cool. On Friday nights is Over the Top Radio with Ed in San Antonio and all his friends. And that's our network's lineup. What do you think, Vic? That sound pretty good?
You know what? I think it's the road to WrestleMania. There is a roadblock in the way, which I'll be interested to see what happens here. Discuss a little bit next week for Raw. But I think we're starting to shape up for the pay-per-view. We're starting to build some storylines and enhancing old and creating new.
Yeah, man, it should be good, man. I look forward to Cockblock. Or Roadblock. Should be very entertaining. Well, Big Dick, I want to thank you for joining us. We're a little abbreviated tonight, but that's a good thing. Killer Kev, wherever you are, we love you. And Vic, is there nothing else you want to add? Maybe we'll call it a day a little early today.
Yeah, man, I'm all for that. I'm about to snooze myself. So,
all right, man. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And, you know what? Since we have control of the airwaves, we can essentially play any song we want out here. Is there something you'd want to hear in particular?
You know what? I'm going to let you handle this one because I know you have extraordinary taste in music.
You know, it's not easy to pick a song, but I do have one that I think is one of the very best. And I think it'll be the type of song to bring us home. Oh, shoot. Here it is. It's coming up. And, you know, I think this sums up our show because you know it's true. It's the best.